Hey everybody, G4 Video 5 here, and welcome back to some more Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, the Definitive Edition. In this part, we will be getting all gold medals in the driving school.
Welcome to the Advanced Driving School. To pass, you must score bronze or higher in all 12 tests. To view a demonstration of each test, please use the TV over there. Passing a test will unlock the next test in the training program. You can come back and check your scores or take new tests at any time.
Yes, thank you, kind sir, as we prepare our anus for what's in store for us, as this is a requirement to complete in order to get your percentage points for 100%, but we're going a bit above and beyond, as you only need bronze medals to get your percentage points, but we're getting all gold medals, and it begins here with the Xbox 360 test, in which we spin right round. And, you know how the rest of that song goes. But, it's pretty straightforward stuff to start us off. The 180 is next, and I actually quite like this particular test because it's something that you would actually do when you're driving around on the streets, where you would maybe be driving forward, chasing after someone, but then they cut back behind you, so you gotta make this sharp turnaround and begin chasing after them again. So I think that's pretty cool when they have tests like this. But let me tell you, some of these tests are absolute dog anus. I keep saying that word, so I should probably stop at this point. But, you get the idea. Some of these are just terrible. But this right here is an example of a case where the test asks us, which direction we want to go into. And this really doesn't matter. It's purely a personal preference thing. Oftentimes I end up going counterclockwise because that's what's most comfortable for me. But some people might like going clockwise instead. So completely up to you. This next one, pop and control, pop lock and drop it, as we are getting our tires popped, but you can just kind of coast to victory. Like, whenever your tires are popped, you typically don't want to be accelerating all that much, because the tires being popped makes your vehicle very difficult to control, and you're just kind of stuttering all around the place. So just kind of coasting your way to victory. Let the vehicle's natural acceleration carry you to victory. Although this particular test right here, probably the most difficult one if I had to guess. Because you really have to cut these corners in order to make time. There were so many attempts where I was just a second off from the gold time, and I barely made the time during this particular attempt, because some of these corners I'm not cutting as sharply as maybe I should be. So you really have to be just humping that barrier there, the inside barrier, to really make these corners as sharp as possible. So glad to have had that one done, but it's just a rinse and repeat process of sharply handbraking around those corners. Next up we have cone coil, I should say. Another pretty straightforward one, nothing too crazy here, but I do want to say that the physics during these tests are a little bit different than the physics when you're normally driving around the place, which might be the cause of some issues. So the reason for that, I think, is because there are certain tests where you're doing things that you wouldn't normally do, which, by the way, for the 90 right here, you don't actually have to handbrake into the position. You can just kind of drive and then reverse into the position, kind of like you're parking in a way. So it's really strange, but hey, if it works, it works, right? This one right here, Wheelie Weave, this is an example of something that you might not really be doing. So the physics are altered to make this a bit more attainable, although I never had to recorrect my position there. I was able to just kind of slide to victory. So I don't know, there's some leeway with some of these tests in getting gold medals, that's for sure. But anyway, this one's pretty cool. The spin and weave, which is a very exciting maneuver, but because there's so many cones everywhere, you can't do it super quickly, but you end up doing it fast enough to get the gold medal. The old P.I.T. maneuver, yes, this one, where you just ram into the vehicle's ass up in front of us. See that? And you continuously do that. Notice how I continued pushing myself into the tail end of that police vehicle that we P.I.T. maneuvered. Yeah, so that's something to keep in mind right there. And next up, alley-oop. Ooh, we're slamming it like Shaquille, like that one Rage Against the Machine song. So this one, you just kind of hug the edge of the ramp when you're going off of it, and then you use the analog stick to rotate the vehicle when you're in midair to kind of correct your position. This final test is City Slickin', which is an interesting thing we have going on here, because I actually had corrupted footage, which is kind of annoying, but thankfully you can retake these tests even if you get a gold medal on them, in case you want to beat your time or something like that. So I'm just redoing this. You'll still see a 100% at the end of this. But yeah, this is an interesting one because it's pretty much free reign as to how you want to approach doing this. There's no set route. There's definitely a better route to be doing than what I'm doing, I'm sure. But this is just what worked best for me, more or less following the GPS, and you see things getting a bit crazy at the end there, so yeah, don't be afraid to brake when necessary. Like, just because this is a timed test where you're trying to haul ass, it doesn't mean that you need to force yourself into awkward positions. Like, if you're swerving around and stuff, don't be afraid to slow down a little bit and kind of correct yourself. Now, the test ends if you come to a complete stop, so that's something to keep in mind right there. But if we're like swerving around and we're kind of losing control a bit, you can still slow down and not, come to a complete stop and then regather yourself and continue moving again. So this is just what the route that worked best for me. Some other folks might want to use alleyways and stuff like that a bit more often, but I don't really find it super necessary unless you're doing a speed run. So yeah, that's what I ended up doing here for these tests. Quite good stuff. See, there's the 100% there for overall score, and that completes the driving school. So we actually get a phone call after doing this.
Yo, CJ, it's like Jethro, dude.
Hey, Jethro, how is it?
Yo, dude, the garage is coming along nicely, man. But I rang about something else. There's an unofficial street racing club in San Fierro.
Unofficial as in illegal, right?
I don't know what you're talking about, dude. Anywho, they meet up around the driving school someplace. Thought you might, like to know.
Thanks, Jethro. I'ma think about it, and I'll holler at you. Later, man.
So on top of unlocking the San Fierro street races, we've also unlocked these 3 very nice vehicles in front of the driving school for getting all gold medals. So very good stuff, if I do say so myself. In the next part, we'll be taking on these San Fierro street races. So until then, I will see you next time.